Yeah, how's
Hey,
it
Sean.
going, man?
Oh, pretty good.
I got really busy, dude, and I forgot you were coming by today, man.
Well, what, are we not doing any filming or what?
Yeah, I can't do filming, man. I gotta go into town. I gotta buy soap.
Why?
Shout out, let the floor against nation. Neither shall they learn more anymore. Neither shall they learn more anymore. Night of the death play, clear us away. Kill the night time, seize the day. Breathing the light, let nature try again. Whoa, that solution is to play. Let evolution clean the slate.
See, it all starts like this, when you're naked, in the middle of nowhere in the forest. This is how we're supposed to live. When we're born, we hit the ground, we got nothing. We're just this soft pink flesh in a big scary world where it's cold and wet. Which is weird, because why the hell are we living in regions that are this cold and wet? I mean, look at me. I got no hair on my body. I'm not supposed to be out here like this. I'm supposed to be in a warm, temperate region, maybe with a beach, getting a tan. You know, that's where I'm supposed to be, but no. Some asshole decided he was going to move out in the middle of frickin' nowhere where it's really cold and we can't walk around naked. Who's thinking? That's what I want to know. So what you need to do is you need to think about what kind of clothing you're going to buy. You need to think about what kind of clothing you're going to go and dress yourself with, because everything you have is a tool. This is what you start with. This is the beginning right here. This is where it's at. So what you need is you need your gaunch line, man. You need your first line gear. When you hit the ground naked in the middle of the forest, you're cold and wet and you don't know what the fuck's going on, you need to figure out what's the first piece of equipment you need, the gaunch line. And the gaunch line kit you need before anything else is a belt.
Patrolling Technical Specifications File Number 029 Equipment Belt.
Funny thing about belts is there's a lot of things you can do with a belt. A belt could be anything from a piece of rope that goes around your waist or to the high-end gear. WOGs, of course, use function over form always. But let's look at all the belts so we see why we make that decision. Everything you choose has to be chosen for a reason with high-end capabilities. First, we have your standard piece of belt. Now, this is a pretty cheap belt. It's got a little clasp, goes together. It's white. It's pretty gay. But to illustrate the point, this is your beginning point for belts. And you get into the debate and fashions and stuff like that if you happen to be buying new, but nobody buys new. If you buy new, you have to buy recycled. This is a little bit more the speed of what we'd want. This would be, Britney Spears would wear that. For the WOGs, this would probably be your low-end belt you'd start with. Something like this, $7. On one side, you've got camouflage. On the other side, you've got khaki. These buckles come off. You can swap the strap over. You're good to go. You can actually, if you didn't like this, you could go down to a store like Mountain Equipment Co-op or something like that, where you can buy just the strapping raw and do it that way. You get a really strong belt that way, but again, it's all about the buckle. If your buckle fails, you just got like a piece of string, essentially. Now, a lot of people go for the Western notion of leather. Man's been wearing leather for so freaking long, it's not even funny. I don't really care so much about the humane aspects to it. I think it's unfortunate we got to kill cows, but I got to keep my pants up, so there. This was the standard for such a long time, and people think that this is only your two choices. You can either go with a good leather belt or a crappy little fabric belt, and that's not the way it is. You can get into the heavier leather belts. This is a little bit, we're starting to get a little tactical here. The brown, well, this is generally designed for the cowboy type, the country worker, that kind of a thing. Now, you can't really go wrong with it because, they're very, very strong and they're very well constructed. And quite often, they come with these little things that are like secret pockets on the inside, where, of course, people go, wow, that's really cool. You can put money in there. No, you don't put money in there. You put handcuff keys in there. If I had a zipper belt like this, I'd probably roll up about $200 in cash in American funds, and I'd probably put some handcuff keys in there. And if you wanted to, there's a few companies that make very, very small knives that you could put in there, and you could wear that so that it doesn't bend or whatever. That's a really good idea to have that with you. That way you're never really screwed. I usually myself, I didn't wind up going with this. I had a belt like this for a while there. They're very, very strong, but depending on your lifestyle. My lifestyle is a little bit different than that. I'm pretty into the hard use tack gear. Your point where you're going to have failure is, of course, with these belts is that these holes, they start to stretch, they get out of shape, and 6 months down the road, you don't buy kit new, you buy kit used, right? How's this going to look after it's wet for 4 days? Well, leather rots. It's flesh. It won't last as long in extreme use as more synthetic material. So it's better to go with a synthetic material over leather, not because of animal rights, because it makes sense. Now, a lot of people have said that there's an idea to go with suspenders. And suspenders are really, really great. These are bright red suspenders. People with wog haircuts should not wear bright red suspenders because the skinhead movement has made red suspenders pretty much untouchable for everyone. You don't really have a place to put any of your gear that you'd put on your belt, so tactical suspenders, although functional, are used to keep up your pants versus your belt, which is where you keep your kit. Because for keeping up your pants, your suspenders actually do a better job. So if you're so skinny that you need to actually wear suspenders, buy suspenders, and also buy a belt so that you keep them both. Or you can get yourself a nice shoulder rig and hook it to your belt, and that way your shoulder rig turns into suspenders as well, kind of a dual purpose sort of thing there. There's a company in Vancouver called Calder Ridge, and they make some tack gear too, and they make actually some pretty good stuff. They're a new company. They actually came up with a line of tactical suspenders, which I find to be somewhat humorous, but they do make a really good shoulder rig, which has served me well for quite some time. So I'm kind of a fan of Calder Ridge. You get good quality stuff made of heavy cordure with some good buckles on it, and you're not paying through the nose like you will on like Eagle Industries, London Bridge, or for one of the companies that make the really, really high-end gear. Anything that you're going with here, you want to make sure we're, again, going for strength. Moving from the suspenders, you can get into the simple synthetic belts. Now, these ones here have Velcro on the inside. The reason for that is for when they're done up, you don't run into that loop problem. The thing just goes around your waist, and when you do it up, the Velcro holds it in place. Velcro is surprisingly strong. You wouldn't think that it would handle on something like this, but you'd actually have to go through about 8 inches of soft Velcro in order to break that free. It's not going to happen. This is your low-end belt. This is the beginning point for the wog. Belt like this, they run for like $11. So you can pay 20-some odd bucks for a leather piece of shit that's going to rot on you in the rain, or you can get a synthetic belt, which is face age and wog approved. Moving from that, we can go into the higher-end belts of this type. Exactly the same thing, only it's got some extra features to it. Moving right up. Price point on this guy here, you're up to $20 for something like this. So it does jump pretty good, but again, you got to bear in mind, how durable is this going to be? You could wash this, you can beat it. A lot of people go, oh, it's warranted for life. If I break it, I send the thing, I'll get a new one. Well, who cares? If it breaks on you, that means you don't have that, and you could be in a situation where you need that kit. Now, my own personal favorite is when you have the emergency repelling harness belts. These belts are about as tough as they come. That's what I enjoy about these belts. You got to think to yourself, this is designed so that if you needed to, you could repel from it. It's got an extra function. What a brilliant idea. And I always like to look at when I'm looking at a belt, you got to think to yourself, if I fell off the building and my belt caught on a hook halfway down the building, would my body rip itself apart around the belt? Because that's kind of the criteria that wogs go with.
If it hooked on a nail while you were falling from a skyscraper, would your body be ripped apart?
Once you get past that, you can use these small belts that we saw here. They have the Velcro on the inside. You can get tactical belts that go over top. Now, I have seen people, a guy by the name of Centaur, took pouches, mounted them on his exterior belt for his daily carry. All you need to do is you take the belt off when you're ready to adjust, and then you just throw it on over top. And the Velcro that is on your pants keeps your pants up, and this Velcro here on the inside just sticks to it, so this belt like mounts to the other belt. It's a concept that's very, very good. It's tried and true. It's battle tested, because after all, things that are battle tested are best, always. However, this concept of load bearing is dying because there have been better technology that comes out and people are afraid to adopt it, which is unfortunate, but it happens. So these belts are very, very good, but if you were going to be that concerned about duty, you should be carrying everything in a vest. But in day-to-day life, you can't really walk around in your attack vest unless you're me. So what I would do is, instead of that, is I would probably stick with a belt such as this one here. I myself, I wear an Eagle Industries version of the same belt, and I found that it served me really quite well. I went with a variety of Calder Ridge pouches where I can keep all your Gaunch Line kit on there, which we'll be going over, don't you worry, step by step. So it's pretty handy. With the Eagle Industries belt, yeah, I've got the ability to repel if I need to. If I need to get out of a situation or a structure, you're not hooped. If you don't wind up using it, then you don't use it. You've got a cool story to tell. But at the end of the day, you got to be prepared as you can, and that's the wog way. But before we can put anything on, we have to be clean. You have to take all the toxins that are on your skin off. You're taking all these toxins into your body every day from your diet, from the environment. Your body processes them and sheds them through sweat. We never actually take the time to clean ourselves. Women are better than men. Men don't give a crap. We're proud of the fact we're a bunch of slobs, but we're not clean. So if you want to learn how to be clean, you got to go to an expert. And nobody knows about being clean than girls.
Well, now that we have the general dirt off of the log, we have to get into some of the more nitty-gritty, so we need to throw them in the shower. Now, I recommend that you use a good natural soap, preferably vegetable-based. It's better for you, it's better for the environment, and you're not harming any animals. This one is great because it's made out of olive oil and it has vitamin E in it, which is really good for your skin. And that's essential for cleaning your wog. So we're going to throw him in the shower, get him all scrubbed up. Now he has to do this on his own. You can't help him do it. This is something that he's going to have to learn. After that, we're going to get on to the finer details of cleaning your wog. Now that the wog is essentially clean and we have them out of the shower, we're going to work on the hands, the nails, and the same thing could be applied to the feet. Now generally, it's best if you use your nail brush while you're in the shower because it's a lot easier to get all the dirt out from underneath the nails while you're there. But if you haven't done that, you can do it again in the sink. But there's always going to be some leftover dirt under the nails. And the best thing for cleaning out underneath the nails, which won't harm your nails, won't scratch them up, is just a nail stick. It's just made out of wood. So it's not going to scrape like metal will scrape your nails, which isn't good. So this won't scrape your nails, and it won't hurt you either if you accidentally just dab a little too deep. What we would do then is we would go underneath the nails with the stick and clean out most of the dirt. So this should get most of the dirt out. And the other end too, you can use you can see it's kind of angled. That's to use for when your cuticles are soft, is for pushing back the cuticles of your nails, and it won't scratch your nail. So once your nails are clean, you'll need to make sure that they're trimmed. I usually recommend nail scissors. Now these particular ones are more cuticle scissors because they've got a finer nose on them. Nail scissors are usually wider. When you use a clipper, which is okay, it won't usually cover your whole nail bed, so you end up with these only cutting part of it, and it kind of tears the rest of your nail. So nail scissors are better because you can usually do it with one full swoop. And after you've clipped the nails, and when the wog doesn't move all over the place, it's easier. So basically shape them. You don't want them too long. You don't want to get lots of stuff trapped underneath them. You don't want to cut them so short that the end of the nails is really exposed. And then after you've trimmed them up, a good thing to do, just to smooth the edges, is I use a ceramic nail file. Now, ceramic is good because it smooths down the nail, but it doesn't tear it up. Metal, when you use a metal nail file to file your nails, it actually leaves little rough edges that eventually start to peel back, and then you start getting things caught in them. But a ceramic nail file will smooth the whole nail, and it doesn't matter if you're going in one direction or both directions, it'll do the same job. So then you just file the nail, make sure there's no rough edges. You don't want them to get caught on any of your equipment. Feels good. And that's about it. And then what you want to do afterwards is make sure that you do moisturize your hands. Even though you're going to be doing a lot of rough work, it's good to make sure that your hands are going to get all cracked and going to start breaking, splitting, and bleeding. So after your hands are clean, your nails are done, just give them a good lotion up and you're ready to go.
Of course, in order to wear a belt, you need a pair of pants.
Patrolling Technical Specifications File 251, Tactical Pants.
The thing is, now we're talking about pants. Now, chances are you didn't evaluate the pants you currently own properly. So chances are the pants you currently own are all shit. They're all useless. Can't do a thing with them. If you have to choose and to buy effective gear, and in order to wear a belt, you need to have pants. So you have to buy the best possible pants you can. But who makes the best ones? It's very, very hard to tell because advertising, which should serve to inform us of different qualities and capabilities that pants have, does not do this. Instead, advertising has mutated over time to be a great evil which is out to destroy our soul. So, in order to actually in order to actually figure out what kind of pants we should have, we have to go out and physically talk to people.
Fact. Advertising is destroying your soul.
On the question of pants, it's a hard one, because pants are important. I would think that if I had to go with one pair of pants as your initial first buy, I mean, for the short term, you can go with any Army surplus pant because it's better than the crap they're trying to sell to civilians. But for high-end tactical gear in the pant regime, I'd probably go with some Royal Robbins 511 in tactical color as required. The 511s, from what I've heard, now I don't own a pair, but from what I've heard and what I've read, all the close protection Delta guys use them, all the CIA ops who use them, any footage you see on CNN of bodyguards and wearing those weird fishing vests and that's apparently what it is, as I understand it, is the Royal Robbins 511 TAC series, I believe. So with something like that, if it's good enough for those guys it's battle tested, and anything battle tested is worthwhile.
Haven't worn Royal Robbins 511s myself, but I have heard from a couple of the guys back home that they were wearing them in a Desert Storm, and once again in Iraq for the latest conflict. And apparently they're pretty good. Wouldn't mind getting a hand on them. That's the sort of pants we need back home in Australia because they're nice and cool and hard wearing. Hopefully they're comfortable. These things we're wearing at the moment are almost like pajamas. They're nice and comfy and not really suited for this environment. But we've heard good things.
Yeah, I heard the Royal Robbins were pretty good. When I was in Sarajevo, they kept the water out and the piss in.
I heard a lot of guys say these Royal Robbins pants are the shit, but fucking, I won't wear anything that's gonna melt to my skin. It's cotton all the way, baby. Cotton or nothing. Yeah, you get near a thermite when it goes off, you don't want to be near those friggin' polyester pants that are gonna melt to your skin. Peel them off. Skin graft is no fucking fun, no matter what anybody tells you. Nah, man. Cotton underwear are the shit too. As long as you get them up tight into the crotch, then there's no chafage. Chafage is almost as bad as a skin graft. Fuck.
So in my line of work, actually, people have to depend on the gear that they wear every day. It's not just a matter of your guns or the guys you're with, but you can't have any gear failures whatsoever. A critical piece of kit goes down in the middle of a tight situation where you're shitting your pants and the shells are flying, the artillery's coming down, people are dying around you. You can't worry about your boots blowing out, your harnesses falling off, or anything along the lines. That's why shops are only the best. I remember back in '93 in Mogadishu, we were doing a bunch of Black Ops down there. I saw the first pair of pants that I knew I absolutely had to have. I've had a lot of pair of pants before, different cam patterns, I've got my Black SWAT stuff, Ripstop DPM, OzCam that I'm wearing right now. Most of the stuff I've traded with, real world operators that I come and go with all the time. I've had some pretty good stuff, I've had also some pretty lousy stuff. But there's guys in there working for the shop. You know what I mean by the shop, right? Anyways, the guy's wearing this really snazzy pair of pants. I look at him and they're, function, fit, form, really nice stuff. But obviously they got just that little bit of an edge which makes them stand out more than anything else in the world, eh? You got to see the guy's got the way the pockets are slanted, the fabric, the bar tacking on the pants, all the rest of it. Totally adds up. I knew it was a quality product. So I went over and started talking to this guy. Had the Oakleys on, the high and tight haircut. I wouldn't tell me his name or what he was there doing, but I knew he was working there doing some undercover stuff. Anyway, he tells me the pants he's got are these Royal Robin 511s, gives me a brief rundown on them. Says they're pretty much the bomb, $38 US, can't really complain about that price too much. Especially when, like I said, coming down to good kit, bottom line, top dollar, good gear, it's never going to fail you. So we have a couple of beer, tells me about the other product line, a lot of other stuff they have to offer, go on my merry way. Find out next week the guy was involved in an ambush, actually, and took a direct RPG to hit to the side of the Land Rover he was in, blew the thing wide open. I mean, it parted this thing like a canoe. There it was, man. Pants out of fucking scratch on them.
So where do we go to get these amazing magical pants? down here with Martin Slave at Dave's Army Surplus. And he, when he's allowed to be fed and stuff like that, is able to walk out on the floor and look at all the good Army surplus gear. This is all these people do. They know kit. That's their gig. So when we're looking at surplus pants, what are we looking at? We walk in, we're in an Army surplus store. Where do we go to get pants?
Well, we have two separate aisles. One aisle is new and one aisle is used.
Right.
So when you go and look for used pants,
right,
you basically want to look for condition and quality.
Now, where am I looking? Because I mean, this looks pretty faded to me. Is this a good
faded means nothing.
No.
It'll still be strong. What you're going to look for is thin in the bum.
Oh, thin. Because this is reinforced, I guess, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you want to make sure your seams are good.
Oh, okay. And when you say seams are good, what do you mean? Like how
they're not frayed, they're not ripping, they haven't already been sewn up.
Because that's where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's usually in the seat first.
Seat and knees.
Seat and knees. Oh, and that's why they always put reinforcing on the knees.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For crawling around.
And so these ones here are a pretty good buy because I don't see any wear on these at all.
Nope, they're just faded.
Oh, I see. Okay. Now this one here looks like a heavy cotton, but the Canadian Forces ones here
are very lightweight.
Yeah, now this is a lightweight pant. Now this one would be good for like, I don't know, whatever, like daily wear, but this would be probably better for summer, I guess, or
yep.
what?
This is 60-40.
Right.
So it's a heavier material.
What does that mean, 60-40? Do you know how that breaks down? Or?
It's 60% cotton, 40%...
polyester. Okay, so what about this guy here? Now this guy here's got a big sew mark in it.
That's common with the Canadian pant.
Oh, is it?
It's very thin, but this is a winter pant, so this isn't a really good one to copy.
Oh, okay. So is there another Canadian Forces pant here? Here we go.
Here's a Canadian pant.
Now this is surplus as well because it's got a guy's name in it and everything here. Okay.
These are really bad.
These are bad?
To buy because they thin out.
Oh.
You can see my hand.
Oh, I see.
Is going through.
But it'd be good for summer if you didn't care, though, I guess.
It'd be good for summer.
If you're down in Arizona, Pantherpy, anybody like that who's down there, all the wogs down there, they want to probably get some Canadian Forces pants to wear so they're not getting sun on their
breathe
legs.
easy.
Yeah, they breathe good.
Yeah.
So that'd be a way to go.
Now you could do rib stop and use the American, but they fade really bad.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Let's talk about other countries, because you got a bunch of other countries worth of pants here. Who makes some good pants around the world for issued Army kit, you think?
British.
British? Yeah, well, I like the British stuff.
German's good.
Germans?
Yeah.
Hate their pattern.
Yeah, hate their pattern, but it's nice.
Okay, but it works stuff, though. But the British, we've got some British pants. Let's take a look at the British stuff.
I don't know if
Yeah, those are DPMs. Are they Dutch or British?
I think that's Dutch, but it's very close.
Yeah, okay. So these are Dutch. Let's look at the Dutch. Lots of people in Amsterdam. Good country.
They fade, but they don't wear out.
Oh, really? So they're pretty...
They're very good quality.
And they're soft. These are really soft. They're much softer than any other pants we've touched so far. It's kind of like, I think it's a tighter thread count or something. I don't know what's going on
I think it's doubled up.
Is it doubled up? Because that's really nice. And the British, I mean, those people know a lot about uniforms. The cuts of the uniforms usually look really sharp, whatever. What else we got here? We got a bunch of stuff.
Actually, we have some British Gore-Tex.
Oh, Gore-Tex. Let's look at that for a pant material. Now, why wouldn't you just wear this all the time? This is waterproof, right? Look at this.
It's noisy, that's why.
It's noisy, so you get shot. That's upsetting. But hey, I should get a set of these. What are these worth? Gore-Tex. Oh my God, they're $80.
Yep.
That's waterproof though.
Yep, 100%.
So you could wear that with a Gore-Tex jacket, and you'd be set.
100% waterproof.
And the neat thing about it, look how thin this is. You could totally roll these up, eh?
Yep. You could fit jacket and pant into a butt pack.
That's awesome. So when the wogs don't have to be stopped by rain. Perfect. But we'll get into rain gear later. Don't you worry. We'll be back looking at these again. I'm probably going to pick these up. These are fat. They're in really nice shape. This is like never used.
No, and it's triple ply.
It's 3 layers.
Yeah.
Now, why is that important to go with single ply, double ply, triple ply?
Well, for durability.
Okay,
right? So triple ply is going to last longer.
Right.
It's going to be noisier.
Right.
The less layer there is, the quieter it is.
Oh, okay.
But this will last longer.
Oh, well, and it's all about durability because we don't care about making noise because, well, everyone knows when the wogs are coming. Now, these zippers, are they going to go on me or what?
Nope, they're heavy duty.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, look at that. That's sexy. Very nice. Very nice. And then you can zip those up so you can get them on over top your boots.
Yep.
Nice. So if I was going to throw these on right now, can I do that? Because I'm dressed how I would be outside right now. It starts to rain. I go into my bag.
Let's check the size first. Make sure it'll fit you.
170? Yeah, that'll fit.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
You're skinny.
I've lost weight. Okay, hang on. Oh, look at that. Bing, bang, boom. Now, I'm wearing Group 4 Danners, which is a pretty big boot.
Just
like that. And you throw on your other leg and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so these have got 3 layers of Gore-Tex. They fit me perfectly. I can store them. They go inside my butt pack. And the price tag here says $80. Now, it's 3 layers of Gore-Tex. What would you pay for something like this that is an Army surplus?
You can triple the price if that had a name brand on it.
Triple the price. What if it was like a really big name brand?
Well, if that was
Like a North Face or something like that.
Oh, you'd probably pay $400 or $500.
Really? And is it a better piece of kit, or is this a better piece of kit?
This is a better piece of kit.
Well, then there you go. That's
It'll
what you
last.
do. And you don't have to worry about all the mind share that you get from that bullshit company. So, what about when we get past the surplus stuff and we actually are buying the new stuff? Because it's not surplus, but it is surplus. Like some of these pants got NATO stock numbers in it, but they're new and civvies can buy them. How does that work?
Basically, anybody can, even with the NATO number, you can still own it. You can
really?
buy it. Oh yeah, we order them in. It's no big deal. You can totally tell. Has a NATO number in it.
Now, the NATO stock number, that's how North Atlantic Treaty Organization tracks all of their gear, right? So if they order a stock piece, that's the stock number they go with.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting if any of the logs out there can get their hands on because you can apparently get a catalog that has all the NATO stock numbers in it. Yep. You can look up any database on any NATO stock number and get the number of kit as well as the identification for it, which is cool. You can do it on the web, too. You'll sometimes get hits. If you find a piece of gear with a NATO stock number, you can look at it. But anyway, so these pants, now, which in the land of these pants, what are we buying? If we're buying new, we're buying online, what do we want to go with?
Well, it depends. If you're down south, you want to go with the ripstop.
With the ripstop, why?
Yeah, because it's lightweight.
Oh, okay.
The downside to ripstop is after you wash it a few times, the lines come through the material.
Oh,
Those
no.
little lines. But they're a lighter pant.
Oh, okay.
And basically all ripstop is therefore is snagging.
So if if you rip like a little square, it'll just spray out that one square.
Yeah.
Okay, now the thing is though, so these kind of wear out a little faster. Is that what you're telling me here?
60-40 is the way to go.
Okay, so what are we looking at? That 60-40 in
right
kit
here.
We have hit. Okay, and this is made by Proper.
Yep.
Okay, and who uses this?
Well, that's a U.S.
Okay, so any of the SWAT teams could be using it.
Anybody
could be using this thing, and it's an issue piece of kit. We got the washing instructions, plain as day, right there, which is good to see. And now, would you say this is a pretty good pant? Like with this?
Awesome.
Really?
Awesome pant. Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
So it'll totally stand up to what you can dish out
Takes
to
a
it.
beating.
Okay, and what's the price on this? Oh, it's $50. Geez, a set of new jeans usually runs you, especially if it's name brand, is like what, $130?
So sometimes it's worth it to buy new because used is only $10 cheaper.
Well, okay then. Well, if that's the case, unless it's like some weird specialty stuff,
unless
probably
it's
better
something
to,
like Australian or Czechoslovakian.
And check out the selection of brand new pants you guys got. Holy
Tiger
shit.
Stripe.
Everything.
Up to Marpat, CADPAD, everything, Desert Digital.
You name it. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, well, what about the, like when it comes to camo patterns, what do you think would be pretty handy? But bear in mind, everybody's going to be wearing this. So what would you suggest if someone was had to choose on a pattern that would go with anything, for personal fashion?
Personal fashion, I say do CADPAD.
CADPAD?
Yeah.
Canadian pattern? That's the ones that the Canadians invented, isn't it? Yeah, and then the Americans stole it and created Marpat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. So, actually, is this CADPAD here?
Yep, and it's actually made by Proper.
And it's made by Proper. Wow, so you get all the durability in a... Now, how does... You know how CADPAD works? Like why this camouflage is different than mine? Like you look at mine, you look at this.
It's digital, so it's meant to trick your eyes. So as long as you don't move a lot, you won't see a lot of movement except for flesh.
Oh, so this has been designed to actually deceive your eyes by the way your eyes see.
Yep.
Oh, wow. So if you were in the bush, this would be the way to go.
Yep, as long as you're moving slowly.
As long as you're free. Yeah, well, number one reason I think you're seeing, yeah, wow, sweet. Okay, well, what about, is there anything for urban? Is there like an urban CADPAD?
Well, this is not yet.
Not yet. So
Not
this is bleeding edge stuff. How old is this? This is only a couple of years old. This has only been around, eh?
Only really been issued a year and a half, 2 years.
So this is the bleeding edge stuff. This is what, who's who in the zoo is going to be, everybody's going to be wearing this.
This is the new Marine Marpat.
Which is, they thought this up all by themselves, did they?
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow. Well, as long as it saves lives, who gives a shit? Okay, but, and these ones are...
Those are actual Canadian issues.
Wow. Cool. So these ones would be good for the.
But they're the same material as the wind pants, so they're a little thinner.
So yeah, so it'd be good if you're down south.
It'd be but if you want something that's going to last, go with the proper.
Okay, so that's if I'm in the bush. What if I'm inner city and I want to make sure that I got something that's going on? I guess you go with black.
You could go with black, or you could go with night.
Yeah, that's a little bit more subdued, isn't it? You know what I mean? And that seems. Does this pattern actually work? Because I've seen this a lot. I don't know if it really works.
No,
it's mostly fashion or what?
Pretty much snowboarders.
Snowboarders. Tight. But the thing is now that you have all this data, you have to listen to yourself using your own experiences to make the decision that's right for you. It's really important, man. I'm sorry, I got to do this.
But we were going to film a whole bunch of stuff today, Sean.
Yeah, soap's really important, man. You got to be clean, man. It's like cleanliness next to godliness, man. If you can't stay clean, there's no point. You know, so I'm not interested in...
Well, I drove...
Sorry, dude.
So you say you gotta know why the world goes around, and you can't find the truth in the things you found, and you're scared shitless cause evil abound. Come join us. Well, I heard you were looking for a place to fit in.